Thank you so much, Katie, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about business intelligence now new data trends and data skills for the travel industry. Very interesting to see what's going on in Scotland. I think we have to we can add some interesting insights, some facts. And as you learned already, it's all about data in our travel industry, especially in challenging times. Dynamic data are giving us solid information almost in real time. And what we'll do right now is to take a deep dive into data technology, both into their opportunities as well into current facts and figures, which might be pretty interesting, I might guess. And we have three companies with us who don't see themselves as classical BI providers. They are specialists in all the disciplines. So let's welcome my guests. And first, it is Sojourn. It's a leading digital marketing platform for travel. And I would love to see you. I'd like to welcome you, Matthias Gerber. He's the Regional Director, Central Europe of Sojourn. Welcome, Matthias. We do have Neusta Data Intelligence. It's a new kid on the block in travel intelligence with a focus on leisure trips, on package holidays, mainly in Central Europe. But let's see what's come next. Welcome, Andreas Wulfes. He's the CEO of Neusta Data Intelligence. And last but not least, we have Hopper, which is maybe a specialist in price prediction, turning in my point of view, a spectacular drift in challenging times from, let's say meta search to fintech, B2B, whatever it is. And Hayley Berg, head of price intelligence, will describe us about her shift and about her solution, the solution of Sojourn. Welcome, Hayley, live from Boston, very early for you. Thanks for joining. And what we do now is to spend a few minutes each about the technologies and about the insights they have. And this can tell you already, these are pretty accurate and new and probably interesting data we can present to you. And the stage is yours, Matthias Gerber, Regional Director, Central Europe of Sojourn. Welcome again.
So thank you, Dirk, for inviting us to the panel. Just figuring out if I see my presentation here. Mm-hmm. Yes. No. So within the next few minutes, I'm going to share you some insights, what we are doing in Sojourn, and also share you some new data about flight searches. So what is Sojourn doing? Actually, we are empowering marketeers through data by analyzing the complete path of purchase from dream to book. Over 300 employees work with around 10,000 clients worldwide, clients such as airlines, hotel chains, DMOs, but also individual hotels. And through our technologies, actually, we generate over $13 billion worth of bookings for our customers. How are we finding actually the travelers? There are three components actually which we are using here. The first one, big data. So we are working with a lot of partners, data partners across the globe who are providing us billions of travel signals. So we actually see where, when, or why people are traveling. Then we use business analytics and data science to find those 300 billion traveler profiles. So actually, those are the people behind the searches. And last but not least, we analyze the path to purchase, as already mentioned, and apply tactics and strategies for each step somebody is taking. How actually are we driving those travelers to your website? There are also three major components. We use programmatic advertising, which allows us actually a very efficient media buy and also the usage of our data. We use multi-channel campaigns because we know that people are actually visiting multiple sites, and machine learning technologies for optimization. So now you get an idea how actually we use big data and data science for providing advertising solutions, but also we share data with our partners, trends, insights, etc. And this time I'm going to share with you the newest flight search trends globally, which are actually an indication about how people are looking for travel, how motivated they are. Starting with APAC. Just for you, a quick explanation. You see 4 lines. The gray line is actually 2019. The light blue one represents the numbers in 2020. The dark blue one is actually 2021, and the orange one is the data we see from the beginning of this year. As you can see clearly on the light blue one, you see the impact Corona had last 2 years. The good news is actually that APAC is fetching up after a short, flat period in the beginning. We are seeing an increase, a nice increase of 25% growth. We actually hit the 2020 numbers here, but it's turning a bit flat. Looking into the US, or Northern America in this case, we have seen a very good growth this year. Actually, the good news is that we are hitting the numbers again in searches as in 2020 and also 29. It's flattening in also, but the trend is very positive. Looking to Europe, though, we see the impact the Ukraine crisis is actually having here, direct. 2 weeks ago, Dirk and I looked at the first draft of numbers, and we got very excited actually because we were seeing that we actually reached the 2019 numbers already, and we were excited to see perhaps numbers going up even more. But it turned out to be that travel and or specialty searches as the first step of travel is turning downside again. Not nice to see, but the weeks to come will probably show what is going to happen. The first 2 months actually were very positive. As in a conclusion, I would like to say that using data this way helps our customers actually to forecast how things are trending. So business intelligence in the use of us is very important for future decisions. Thank you.
Just in time. Thank you so much, Mathias Gerber, Regional Director, Central Europe at Sojourn. We will learn more about both the development in the flight market, and we'll also talk about the Ukraine war later on. But before this, I would like to switch over to Neusta Data Intelligence CEO, Andreas Wulfes. Please present your data. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, hello, and thank you, Dirk, for the invitation. So upfront, a little bit about who you're talking to. My name is Andreas Wulfes, the industry about 20 years. I'm head of data science at the Neusta Group and founder of Neusta Data Intelligence. I'd like to present you what we are doing. So what we are currently running is a 360 travel market insight platform where we take also travel searches, but also include bookings, booking requests, something intermediate, combine this with other signals from the market. We do have a running search engine at the moment that generates a lot of insights from, I don't know, television and other things to get signals from the market also. And we provide essentially 2 layers on this, so to say. We do one of our goals is to just provide insights, and like Mathias, we just share insights and do business intelligence. But our mission is to say, okay, we want to help our customers and partners to operationalize this data and to make it accessible in a lot of different processes. So like with insights we have, with the models we generate, we're able to do like forecasting. We have pricing suggestions. Do recommend us and things like that for a lot of different players in the industry. So our data this is coming from several different large partners, and but we mostly concentrate on the DACH region, so Germany, Austria, Swiss, and on leisure travel. So we don't are in the business area yet. So I was asked to just to say, okay, what did the last month bring? If we look into the summer 22. So from our data, like we do have a combination of actual bookings and requests and searches. We can see that Turkey is very dominant in this case in the German market, followed by Spain and Greece that lost a little bit over the last 2 years. Actually, if we look one step more detailed, we can see that nearly all of the Turkish leisure travel bookings go to the Antalya region, followed by like Mallorca and some Greek destinations. It's quite interesting to see that nearly 75 to 80% of the leisure travel things going on at the moment going to near or middle destinations. If you look from the German perspective, we do have though a mostly constant thing over the last years. So no really big surprises, just some shifts. So the data is now up. So what you see is compared for the month until the end of February, I think, with the years before, combining that for the summer month upcoming. If you look in the long haul, we can see that we do the overall, the general numbers are quite smaller concerning the market share from the German market. We do have the Dominican Republic and the Maldives and the United Arab Emirates here at this point. So we also are seeing to the last 2 or 3 weeks, unfortunately due to the Ukrainian developments, shifting in several directions. However, from our point of view, it's a little bit early to say what this does on the one hand with the volume of bookings, but also to see other shifts in the directions. But maybe we can talk about that a little bit later. So thank you again. Some small insights from our database. Looking forward to the rest of the panel.
Thank you, Andreas, and definitely we will talk about this in our wrap-up session later on. But before we do this, I would like to switch over to Hayley Berg, Head of Price Intelligence at Hopper, straight live from Boston. Welcome, Hayley, and looking forward to your presentations.
Great to be here with you. I think we'll just wait for the slides to pop up, but in the meantime, I can give a quick intro on what Hopper is. So Hopper is a mobile travel app. We're a less traditional data provider and actually a direct-to-customer travel booking app. And we leverage mass amounts of data to predict the future price of travel and to offer new fintech products that you can't find elsewhere in the industry. And our ability to do that is really contingent on the data that we have warehoused and the data that we are constantly collecting day to day. So today we sell about $2 billion in travel and travel-related fintech, and that is both through our app and through our B2B initiative, which is recent in the last year or so. And fintech and that B2B distribution of fintech products has driven more than 300% growth in 2021, and we're on track to do that again in 2022. So what I'll talk about a bit today is how we've leveraged data, a warehouse of data and live data, to enable us to move from just selling travel to actually providing valuable insight to our users and creating new value in the marketplace with new products. And I call this 3 easy steps to creating data-driven travel. So first step is a historical price archive. At Hopper, we have been archiving global distribution data, so GDS data, for more than 10 years. So to date, we have more than 70 trillion priced itineraries in our warehouse, an immense amount of data. And this is as granular as the individual market, so origin, destination, departure, return level. And we're able to leverage this data in 2 different ways directly for our consumers. The first way is through price prediction. So applying traditional machine learning algorithms to this historical price archive. Our price prediction model looks at the last 3 to 5 years of data, as well as the most recent year and few weeks of data, to make a prediction on what we think the future price of an individual trip will be. So that's down to the departure and return level. And we translate this data for our users into a simple recommendation. You should book this trip today. We think the price will rise in the future, so you'll get the best deal if you book today. Or you should wait for a better price, and we'll tell you by how much the price will decrease and on what date we expect that you should book. So we're able to translate this incredible archive of prices to actually help users make better travel decisions. We're also able to use it to zoom out and understand market conditions much more broadly. So in this example, similar to Mathias and Andreas, what you're seeing, at the market level, international airfare from the US is rising. It will rise about 5% each month, compounding into June, where prices will peak around $830. That's a really useful insight, not just for our consumers, but also for our teams that are launching fintech products that depend tremendously on price volatility and price trajectories. The second big piece of data that we need to enable these fintech products is user behavior data. And this is what we're collecting directly from our app. Any movement a user makes in the app, what they react to, what they purchase, what they see but don't click on. We're recording that data and warehousing that in an archive of now billions of user behavior data points. This data is incredibly valuable because it tells us how our users are reacting to what they see in the app, what they're offered, and also how they're reacting to market context. So in this example, we're looking at the attach rate on our fintech protection products over the course of about 8 months. And you can see there's a initial spike and a sustained increase in attach on these products. At the same time, we had the surge in Delta and the surge in Omicron from COVID. So we know now how are users going to respond to a market event like this? How big will that response be? How sustained will it be? And that's incredibly valuable information when you're trying to price a product that is based on risk, like our fintech products. So we're able to combine this historical price archive, user behavior data, apply a layer of machine learning and a very stringent challenger model approach to continue to price the risk of these fintech products so that not only can we offer them to users, we can offer attractive prices to users, attractive policies without breaking the bank. And this is really what has enabled us to offer new products and still grow revenue as a company. And this is the result. We have a suite of 6 and more coming travel fintech products that span not just flights, but hotels, rental cars, and so on. And it's all made possible by our historical price archives, our user behavior data, and how we combine those.
Thank you very much, Hayley, and thank you all for sharing these insights with us. I think these are very valuable data. And by the way, you all have a very special approach about using BI. And let's talk about this. When we come back to the data you shared, I would try to give a kind of conclusion. We did had a great start into 2022. booking requests are increasing, bookings are increasing, prices, at least for airfares in the US, are increasing, probably even more. But we also mentioned a lot about the potential of forecasting, about predictions. And as we all know, to give solid predictions, you need reliable basis. And as we all know, times are changing now. We do have a war in Ukraine, and probably the basis for forecasting are not that solid as they have been in the past. So we do have to talk about the current situation now. And I would like to come back to you, Hayley. Do you see any Ukraine topic already in your data? Is there anything changing already currently?
We're starting to see slow initial changes. So, for example, for travel from the US to Europe, we're seeing much lower demand than we typically see at this time, about 9% lower. And that's compounding each week as the conflict continues. I think where most people are curious is how will interruption to jet fuel impact airfare, not just in the US, but across the globe. And our answer is that right now we don't see an impact yet. But if we think about the context, jet fuel prices are already double what they were at this time last year. So prices are already high because of jet fuel. If we see this conflict sustain, outside of 2 to 3 months, where airline price hedging of jet fuel prices is going to run out, that's when we would expect to see a greater impact on pricing from the conflict itself. So I think two sides of the coin. Demand, we see it slowing, obviously a tremendous amount of disruption in the region. And then on the pricing side, I think we will see a slower impact, but more significant as time goes on.
And just to make it clear, increasing prices are usually a good news for the travel industry, but let's see how it works out this time. Mathias, you also mentioned you see a downsizing in travel demand and booking requests already. Can you figure it out a bit more? Is it a Europe conflict? Is it a worldwide challenge where we are in? What can you see in your data?
So actually, of course, the major impact is happening in Europe. The fastest and quickest impact is happening here in Europe. But you see also effects from APAC. Yeah, so just listening to the news, Japan Airlines are not flying to Europe at this stage. The routing will take longer. Yeah, so flights over the conflict countries aren't possible. So this also surely will have an impact in travel. I'm not quite sure if the impact we are seeing in Europe right now is more internally. Yeah, so that actually people who want to travel within Europe might change things. If that's still the case in long haul, it's something we have to consider and wait. Yes, because on the one side, people are willing and able now to travel again after the long time with all the restrictions. And there might be also an effect that destinations might change. But up to now, the major impact is surely in Europe, across all verticals. Flights, you see it in hotels, not as in the extent as flight search, but you see it.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we all can predict the political future and the global future. So let's see what's happened. And Andreas, what do you see in your figures? You said there are really no really big surprises so far, but it's probably the status of late February. Is there any switch in your data already?
Yeah, we definitely saw the drop 2 weeks ago coming with the war. However, over the last days, actually, we see some coming back to the levels of beginning of February, end of January, for the leisure requests. Concerning the destinations or the countries or the regions where people actually are looking for or booking, like I showed, a lot of things are medium haul at the moment from the German perspective. but it's actually not changing very much. So on the course over the last 7 days, I think it's quite consistent with what I showed you number-wise up to the beginning of March. So there's no real shift, but I would expect a little bit, like Mathias said, to look whether some long-haul destinations might come in there. So because one of the things that's beyond everything is that due to the pandemic, I think the budget of people to spend on the next 1 or 2 holidays actually increases. We can see that in rising hotel categories a little bit. So that's per destination a little bit different, but we can see this, and I would expect the market share on long haul travel to increase a little bit also.
Okay, thank you. Just as a wrap up, I already said no one of you sees themselves as a classical BI company, and by the way, that's why you are here. So starting with you, Hayley, you just said your base is 70 trillion price intermediaries and price points. Why are you not a BI company?
We found that our greatest success is taking that data and the insights and translating them into something that can benefit our customers. There are incredible data sources out there in the industry already, and what we feel we can do differently is that translation from data into customer-ready product. And that's why our focus is continuing to leverage this data in our app direct to consumer, and then also in our B2B offerings.
Okay. Mathias, you are a marketing company, but you have valuable data, as we can see. Do you feel as a BI company now?
No, we are clearly a data-driven advertising company. Our mission is to build a platform where we can provide best services around digital marketing by using this kind of data. So business intelligence is one part of our business, yes, overall, but not the core part. The core part is digital advertising. Okay,
thank you. And Andreas, up to you. You're pretty new in the market, not as Neusta. You're one of the leading private-driven IT companies in Germany, but as Neusta Data Intelligence. Is your core point data business intelligence, or are you on another approach as well?
Yeah, I think we're a little bit split there. So it's important to have human easily consumable, understandable insights fast, and as near as real time as possible. So as you need it. But we're actually focusing on the step beyond that to say, okay, insights is one thing, but you need the tools and the processes to then act on it and do this as fast as possible too. So that's not something where human interaction is the next step from our point of view.
So I just learned business intelligence is really extensive. It's a mixture of everything. It's about valuable data, and you get those data probably from interesting sources such as you delivered today. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mathias, Gerber, Andreas, Wulfes, Hayley, Berg, and we give back to Katie in Berlin. Thank you.